Good morning, everyone. Oh dear. You can tell winter is almost upon us because that was a really wonderful response. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Oh, that's better, that's better. Well, this morning, as John has said, it's about connecting, and I've entitled this talk, Connecting with Each Other and Connecting with God. And so we've got two small readings. So usually I ask Mohan at the last minute to do the reading for me, but I can do that for myself today because there's only 3 verses. So here we go. Acts 2, 42. I won't even ask you to look it up because by the time you've done that, I'll have finished the sermon. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. And the second one is Hebrews 10, 24 to 25. Let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some of you are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. So I thought I would start by situating the first reading. This talk will be mainly about Acts 2:42. And so where this verse comes from is, as you know, as some of you may know, it's situated around Pentecost, the time after Jesus had resurrected from the dead. And in fact, Jerusalem had an influx of around 900,000 people who had come for one of its main festivals, this one. They were used to that because they had that 3 times a year. They had 3 main festivals, the Passover, Pentecost, and the Feast of Tabernacles, and this was one of them. And so they'd come from a range of places in the known world. Mesopotamia, which would be Egypt, Iran, Iraq, around that area. They come from Rome, places around the Black Sea, Africa, Ethiopia, Chad. So they were used to people coming across to Jerusalem. But usually what would happen is they come and then they go. But because of some disciples deciding to spread the good news of Jesus and what it meant to be reconciled to God, a lot of them stayed. Jerusalem was now filled with all these people who had come from different backgrounds, different places, and now they were in Jerusalem. What would happen to them? They needed places to stay, food to eat. They become believers. How could they be connected to the Christians who are now worshipping God? That was going to be a challenge. We don't often think about that. In fact, we think the problem of people migrating and hundreds of thousands or whatever is a modern day phenomenon. No, it happens all the time. But the church took this on board, and they were able to manage this challenge for one reason. One of the main reasons was that they devoted themselves to. They devoted themselves. What does devotion mean? Well, devotion, as some of you who are in relationships or have children or devoted to a football team, it's about commitment. It's about intention. It's not just casual. So the church devoted themselves to 4 things. And I believe this is what helped the influx of so many different people from the various backgrounds to be connected to the number, because later on it says they added 3,000 in one day to the church. So what connected them? One, the apostles' teaching. That's what it says. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching. 2, to fellowship. 3, the breaking of bread. And to prayer. So those are going to be the 4 things that I'm going to look at today. Now, it's interesting that Luke, who's seen as the writer of Acts, names the first thing as the devotion to the apostles' teaching. So why the teaching? Well, it's foundational. And I believe that the reason why there was a focus on the teaching was that the new believers, the new additions, needed to know all about Jesus. They needed to know what he was like. They needed to know what Jesus was saying about God. And the way they could do it was to listen to the people who followed Jesus in the first place, the apostles. The apostles were taught by Jesus himself. So they submitted themselves, they devoted themselves to listening to Jesus' teaching. It wasn't just a sort of mission to gain more knowledge. It was a mission so that they could know more about God and about the person they were following. What I also find is that when you get to know more about God and the teachings about him, you get to know more about what he says about you, what he says about me. Because you see, the world tells us, a lot of us, that we're of no value. We mean nothing. But through Jesus' teaching about God, it tells us that we mean something to God. You see, it tells us who God is, what he's doing in us, and who we are to him. A world that is shaped by what God intends us to be and who we are to him means that we're not going to be tossed around by politics of the day, the populist narrative that we hear around us. It means that we're not going to be shaped by those people who tell us where we should be, where we should stay, who's in and who's out. God, through his teaching, tells us everyone is included. You and I are loved by him. It tells us, actually, because sometimes when we use that word, we use the word love, and it's so blasé. I actually like this. God likes you. The Bible tells you he likes you. You're precious to him. And not only that, Jesus, this is what the apostles would be saying, wants you, because he likes you, to know him. And this is what the Bible tells us. All the stuff that we've done wrong and is wrong in our lives, God says, hey, I want to help you to make it right because I like you. I love you. And all the stuff you've done wrong, because I like you and I love you, I want to say, I know you're sorry and I forgive you. In a world that tells us and we're disconnected from each other and from God, the apostles' teaching tells us we're loved and liked, and he wants to be connected with us and for us to be connected to each other. That's what we learn through the teaching of the apostles. Second one, they were intentional about their devotion to fellowship. Fellowship. You know, when I was doing this, I was going, yeah, fellowship. And then I thought, what is fellowship? I don't know about you. What is fellowship? How would you define it? Well, I decided, because I'm so bad at languages, to try a bit of Greek. Please close your ears if you are Greek, because it's going to be wrong. koinonia. Okay, I know the Greeks are now crawling on the chairs, but so that's apparently fellowship in Greek. And what is fellowship? Fellowship is sharing life together, sharing of our lives together. It also means that you spend time together. You can't share life if you're not spending time together. And when I looked at the dictionary, the Merriam-Webster one, it talks about companionship, having company. And then the Britannica one, which I liked, relationship of people who share interests or feelings. That is sharing life together. And the new people who were joined together, connected to the church, they found that they could share their lives with the apostles and the people who were followers of Jesus there already. They were able to do things like share their burdens, the burdens of not having somewhere to live, rejoice together in finding new friends maybe, but weep together. They were struggling side by side. It's the grittiness of living life together as a church. Sharing lives also means turning up to places when it's inconvenient, opening your house when you want to really just watch the TV. It's just being there for others. And so we have the discipleship, the disciples opening their houses to people. They had to, because where were those 3,000 that were added in one day going to stay? On the street? When you've got a house? No, they open up their homes. You see, when there is a sharing of life together, I know I found this myself. Something spiritual happens between believers when they meet. There's an exchange of a strength where you strengthen each other. There's also responsibility. There's accountability, I know about that, for sure, with people I've had to be accountable to. But also, what I've found most of all is the encouragement that I get from being in fellowship with people. Sharing your life and being connected, it's not something that happens quickly. It's a slow burn. You don't meet somebody and then next week you're good friends with somebody. No, it's that bit by bit, that intentional, committed devotion to saying, I want to be in connection with these people. And so when I look around our cities, this place, I listen to the news, we hear something different. We hear, I don't want to be connected with you. Go home. Go back to where you came from. I don't want to be committed to you because you may be illegal. I don't want to be committed to you because this is a small place. We don't have the resources. That's strange when we look at the early church, who most definitely didn't have the resources, and said, you are welcome. And as a church, we need to not join in that rhetoric that we hear around us that says it's okay to share our lives with some people, but those are not welcome. This is not what Jesus would have taught. And this, my friends, is not what we should be encouraging amongst those we meet. We should be a church who allows people to be connected because we're in fellowship with everyone. And so, if the church is not a place where people can belong, then there's no point in us meeting. Because we're told when we fellowship and connect with each other, Jesus said, we're fellowshipping and connecting with him. And so the third one is devoted to breaking bread, connected through eating together. Breaking bread, the shared meal, the Lord's Supper. We're going to engage in the Lord's Supper. And just as I said about fellowshipping, one of the best places to fellowship is around a meal. And God himself says, come to my table. Come and share in my meal. This is what Jesus did, and he said, remember me, because what we're remembering is his sacrifice for us. His sacrifice for us to be connected to him, to God, and to each other. That sacrifice wasn't just anything small, as we know. It was the shedding of his blood, his broken body, which we celebrate and we say, but what it says is that through our taking part in communion, in this table, we're joined together with a community of people across the world. We're connected spiritually to people we don't know, but we're connected because we belong to God. So we're going to be breaking bread together. And when you do that today, think about not just the people here, but the people around the world who also love God, who serve Christ. We share in a meal. I want to move to the last bit, which is devotion to prayer. Prayer is about being connected to God in intimacy. It's a way in which, through our ongoing conversation, our lives, our daily lives, we submit to God as a place of surrender. Our hearts are linked to him. And our hearts are linked to others as we think about them in our prayers and their needs. Not just our needs, but their needs also, through prayer. But through prayer, it's a way in which God connects with us. It's our daily walk through prayer. The early believers, this was the bedrock in what they did. The early believers were connected not just to each other, but to God, because they were connected through prayer. They prayed often, urgently, and joyfully. Prayer allows us to be used by God as we situate ourselves and we position ourselves to allow him to speak to us and direct our lives. And so as I conclude today, I just want to ask you to think about these 4 devotions. They're not trivialities. They're lifelines of a healthy, Spirit-filled and Jesus-focused church. And I want to say that some people have found their niche in this church, but some come and feel invisible, even in this place full of people. Others have come most weeks but still feel disconnected, and they're just hoping someday they'll feel they belong. If we try to demonstrate God's love to one another, not just in words but in what we do in our everyday lives, we can be an answer to some of those who feel this way. We can be an answer to the disconnected. We can be an answer to the disconnected in our community. But we must be willing to be that answer. Let's be a church that goes beyond a handshake and a smile on a Sunday over a coffee. Let us be a church where through you, through me, through us, we can be people who can help others to be connected and to grow deeper in their walk with God. I've other things to say, but I want to land this with one of the ways we've tried to do so is through starting up connect groups. And we started this a few months ago, and we've had people who have been doing so. And the reason for the connect groups is just for people who want to connect through interest, through sharing word, and we've had people who've started that. I want them to share in a moment how they've done that, but I want you to know that the connect groups are not places where you have to be committed every single week to opening your home. But you may feel yourself, I just want to open my home to someone. You may also feel, I want to run somewhere, I want to run something, but I don't have somewhere to run it. I've got some ideas, I want to do craft, I want to join people together through artwork or through something that I'm interested in, but I don't know where to do it. If you've got a home and you can do so, you can open up your home to someone, why not? You don't have to run it, but you can be a place where people meet. There are so many ways you can help people to connect. And I'm going to invite up 3 people I've asked to just share what they've been doing to help in terms of connection. So if they would like to come up now and just tell us a bit about what they've done. Yeah, grab the mic. So say who you are and what you've done in line with what's happening today. Steve's got the mic.
I'm Steve. We've been running a men's Bible study group for about a couple of years now. We meet on the first Tuesday of every month from 7:30 till 9 in the evening. We meet in the creche. We do a little bit of Bible study, which is just basic questions and discussions about a passage that someone picks out. Obviously, we do a little bit of fellowship. We have a sort of catch up with each other and see how we're getting on. A cup of tea. That's about it, really. It's a very simple group. There's not a great deal to it, but I think we cover about 3 out of the 4 out of those. So yeah, that's what we do. So it's first Tuesday of every month in the creche, 7:30 to 9 o'clock, men only. Sorry.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
I've got notes. No. We've been running a connect group for some of the young adult women. There is a general young adults community which ranges from sort of 18 to mid-30s. It's very flexible, which meets fortnightly anyway. I'm not here to talk about that, but I thought I would just mention that anyway. That's just meeting for meals every 2 weeks. So if that's something that you feel like you fit into that gap, please chat to me as well about that. But our connect group was prompted by one of the young people who are graduating from being youth into not youth, but who weren't immediately moving away, who just wanted something a little bit smaller than that sort of bigger community where there are the same people-ish each week, and kind of a space to do some kind of Bible study, but also share things that didn't fit in a larger setting and pray and support each other. What this has ended up looking like is a fortnightly meeting on Tuesdays, hosted at various people's houses, whoever's able and willing to host. We try and start with like highs and lows of the week, just so we know what's going on with everyone, and so we can pray for each other. Sometimes then a short Bible study, sometimes it just ends up being community and chatting as well. But we want to aim for it to have some sort of biblical focus every week going forward. It's a really great thing we found, even if sometimes not everyone can make it each week. It's somewhere as well where the group chat can be somewhere you can shoot out prayer requests, so you know people are praying for you when you've got something difficult or you want support for in the week. And due to a few people moving, we definitely have some space for some more people. And if there's overwhelming excitement, great, more can form. And I also just want to take this moment to really encourage, it's a group for sort of the young adult women, very flexible, but also any of the young men in the church to start something similar, because we've really found it so valuable to have a sort of Jesus-centered support network.
Great, thank you. That's wonderful. And Dan.
Morning. So I run a cycling group, excuse me. So we meet once a month. It's not quite a specific Saturday in the month, but we meet in the month, and so we cycle, obviously. We get out into the countryside, visit new places, which we really enjoy. And we do fellowship. So we always try and have a part of the morning where we just sit down and have a cuppa. So we are getting to know each other. And we do talk a little bit about our faith. That's something we do want to explore a bit more. And we just have a really good time. We've been out to faraway places like Sarat, really enjoying the the environment, and having a really good time. Just getting out and exploring the world. So that's once a month. So it's open to everyone. Obviously, you just need to enjoy cycling. Having a good fellowship. Just come along and find out what we're about. We probably do about 15 to 20 miles. But we're honestly open to everyone, whatever stage you're at with your cycling. Please come along. I think that's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So as you see, there's different groups. There's more. But if you're looking, you go, I'm not interested in some of those, and you're thinking, but I could run one for myself. Please, get in touch with us, and also I know there are other ideas, because so many people have come to me and said, I want to do this, but they just this is now the time to start relaunch that. So as the band come up, just want to now pray. We've been, John brought this word about breaking down walls in terms of our worship and the walls of Jericho. And I feel like that's the same as well, where there's walls of disconnection. Those walls need to be broken down. And that as a church, we can be people who build bridges of connection. And I know some of you, that's what you want. You want to be a bridge of connection. And for some of you, there's that feeling of disconnection. I just pray that these walls are broken down and instead bridges of connections are built. Father God, I thank you for gathering us into your body. Thank you that you are not a distant God, but one who calls us to be connected to you and each other. We confess how we often hide, shrink, and isolate ourselves. And we ask you to forgive us, Lord. Give us courage to practice the devotions faithfully. Let your word shape us. Help us to live life together. Help us to break bread and to pray without ceasing. Pour out your spirit so that lonely hearts in the midst of us are drawn in. Those who are isolated are brought in. And our community sees us as a church that truly connects. And may our lives bear witness to your love in a world that is disconnected. May us be the point of connection. In Jesus' name, amen.